Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday. I hope you all are doing well. We have a great speaker and guest with us today, Mike Kaylor with Mountain Dog. How are you doing today, Mike?
I am doing wonderful. Alaska is giving us some great stuff over the last couple of days, and I'm enjoying it all.
I love it. And I would be remiss if I did not share that we are without my beloved co host today. But little plug, she is getting ready for our manufacturing mixer in Fairbanks. So shout out to Megan and anyone that can join the mixer in Fairbanks. Please feel free to do so. But I'm just going to dive right in with some great questions. So, Mike, can we share a little bit about Mountain Dog treats and your inspiration behind it? And also, I'd love to just hear about kind of like your background and how you got started in this industry.
Okay, so I am a retired Marine. I put my whole career in the infantry, and that's one of those that builds a lot of skills that you don't see initially. So when my buddy Kevin, now my business partner, one time I just met him at the couple of old bearded veterans at Matsu College, and he had a real tough time with COVID. Long stay in the hospital, was on a ventilator, and that impacted his possible future careers. And so him and his wife made a decision that they wanted to find ways to reduce the financial output, but without reducing quality of life. And one of those for them was a freeze dryer. That freeze dryer then went to, well, why should we throw away or feed immediately and then throw the rest away of things like their salmon frames and the damaged parts and fins? So they started freeze drying for their own dogs. And then one of their friends went, "Hey, can you make me some?" And you can do a little bit of that, but if you want to turn it into a business, you've got to start to grow. You've got to incorporate, go through those processes. And Kevin went through a couple of sets of partners that were suboptimal for what we were looking for as a team. And then I said, "Here I am, send me, let's see what we can do with this." I came on board. We've grown from one freeze dryer in his basement to now I'm sitting over here with the capability to run over $1 million worth of product a year. And we're set up with all the processes in place, and we've now tested it. So making a business out of just trying to save a little money seemed like a natural second step.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I feel like I've met you now. I don't even know how many times, multiple occasions, and I don't think I'd ever heard the background story. I had no idea that Kevin had got started and during COVID, and that's kind of what sparked that initial idea.
Yep. The both him and I love the outdoors, hike, hunt, fish, just do those things. And so you look at, I remember one of my mountain warfare instructors at Bridgeport said something that I'm going to paraphrase here. I'm not sure if I got it 100%. And that was ounces equal pounds and pounds equal pain. So that freeze drying it for us here in Alaska is big. Normally we pay large sums of money for good, nutritious, high quality food. But again, we have to ship it up here. So if we can take and turn, our own hunted caribou, moose, the fish that you go out and dip net, start freeze drying that for your own family. And then, some of the trimmings you start turning into your own animals. Now I have a lightweight food that, depending on what it is, you've taken somewhere between 2/3 and 90% of the weight out of it from the water. And since we live in Alaska, we don't have, most people in Alaska are not at a deficit for water most of the year. Even if you've got to melt snow, you can still, put the water back into these meals, and we don't have to send our money outside to be able to do it.
No, it sounds like you embody the true Alaska spirit, and how it really got started. So going back, what year was Mountain Dog get started? It sounds like it was in the COVID era. And then you got brought in, and I know it started from freeze drying and health benefits. You guys must have furry friends, or what made you guys kind of start focusing on, dogs is going to be our focus?
So, I'll go reverse timeline for coming in. I came on board January 1st, 2023. So I've got about 2 years with the company now. The other iterations of the company with some other branding and things had started about a year and a half before that. So we'll look at, mid 21, which again we'll phrase it as the height of, a lot of the logistics issues and retail issues coming out of the global pandemic that everyone was trying to navigate. And again, it was one of those things where you start doing it for yourself and then kind of taking, these trimmings or waste product and making that into something like, pet treats, or even, it's a bit of, you could turn it into something like compost. Now, the energy required to run a freeze dryer for making a compost may not be economical, but there's a lot of things when you start thinking outside the box that you can use and turn waste products into usable, value add products, even if it's for your own house or as a business.
I love that. And I love that you guys are utilizing, like, as you said, the waste products to then really make something beneficial out of it. Now, do you have dogs at home, Mike?
I do. Our house has recently been blessed with a now almost 4-month-old American Bulldog, American Bully mix. She's going to be a very large dog. She's probably going to be about 80, 85 pounds. I wanted to, I hope I can use this. I hope the name's nobody's going to get mad at us, but I wanted to name her Brienne of Tarth because she's going to be large and probably capable of holding her own.
Love it.
I live in a house full of a wife and all daughters, and I got overridden. If you hold her up in front of you, like you would hold up a lion cub being presented to the area, she looks apparently like a waffle cone topped off with a single scoop of vanilla ice cream.
Oh,
so her name became Nilly.
Nilly. That's so cute. I like it.
And she is everything you would expect out of a breed like, the American, those power breeds, the bully breeds. She's stubborn. She pays attention mostly when she wants to, but once she's paying attention, she does a wonderful job. We've actually gotten her, one of the companies that we teamed up with out of California, Tiller Tugs. I got her one of those, and when we were looking at teaming up with that company to, kind of help benefit each other, and I took one of those and brought it home, and that was over a month ago. And as a puppy, she hasn't destroyed it yet, so I'm happy.
Yeah, hey, that's exciting. I mean, like, I remember when my dogs were puppies and they destroyed everything. So that is exciting. And I'm sure that she is very grateful that you are utilizing waste to make it into healthy, nutritious dog treats for her. And I'm assuming Kevin has dogs too that also benefited, right?
Yes. In fact, Kevin has 2 dogs. They're both German Shepherds, and they were often used as the willing test subjects because I'm sure there are dogs that do, but I have yet to meet a dog that will turn down salmon. So they were used and they were tested, and when they would continue to come back towards us, we would continue to test it on them. I'm going to see if this works because I want to show my baby girl off.
Yes, please. Oh my goodness. She is precious. She does. The name is very fitting. I like the name. I'm sorry. Your wife and daughter's one.
When they said it, and I was like, And then one of them picked her up and started giving me puppy dog eyes as she held her up. And I was like, you win.
You can't say no. You can't say no
Exactly.
to that.
I have a daughter who's showing me her, little tiny, female bully mix and says it looks like a cup of vanilla ice cream. Yeah, I can't argue that.
No. Puppy dog eyes with actual puppy dog eyes. I mean, that's just a no-brainer right there.
Yes.
No, thank you for diving into the background and getting to know a little bit more about you. Moving forward, I wanted to ask more about how your products are designed, with outdoor enthusiasts and their dogs, as you mentioned, and mine. How do you gather customer feedback and incorporate it into your product development process? So it sounded like you have guinea pigs that were really testing the product. I'm sure they're grateful for that. Is there any other customer feedback that you guys are utilizing?
This word's going to come up a lot, and it's relationships. We as a company have no problem when we have, we know of someone in our community or someone we've met, whether it be, through, fraternal organizations, veterans groups, churches, wherever it is, MEP, and they go, oh, I love going hiking with my dog. And we go, here, all we want in return is for you to tell us what worked, what didn't, what we could improve, and those things. And so we've really tried to foster relationships with people to get them to give us, constructive feedback. And also if you send, if I send, for example, a house with multiple dogs and they go hiking a lot and I send them 7 treats. Okay. The dog liked it. But if I send them a month's supply for 2 dogs of the large treats, and then I send them some of our copper topper, our salmon food topper, and they can bring that with them on a hike, and they can give a little bit of that for a protein boost at, every other water stop, whatever works good for them. That allows them to give us real feedback that's a lot deeper than my dog likes salmon.
Right.
So we've really tried to foster those relationships. We've sent samples to several people, down in the lower 48. We make contact with them later, hey, how did it work? Thanks for the information, whatever you can get us. And we've got some stuff back. We've gotten a lot of really constructive, well thought out stuff, the answers of things like they're too expensive or they're too big or too small. It's like, that's a very simple thing. And that doesn't really help us as a company.
Right.
So when somebody comes back and goes, here's what I found. My dog loved them, but my dog only weighs X weight. So I found it was better to break them up into little pieces. And then, then we start taking notes, because now we're getting real constructive feedback, which is actually why we just brought out our newest product, the minis, and they're about the third the size. Something we didn't expect when we started to work into this process was we're able to skip a step in manufacturing. So now I spend less money on labor and I get them faster out of my hands and into the bags. So we were able to get a better value for dollar to people on these smaller treats. So now we're listening to, kind of some of those first level feedback of too big, too expensive, not enough in the bag, whatever those feedbacks were. And we're able to say, okay, I need to solve that problem. And, this one from the person who went on they went up through Crow Pass, or they went on a week-long hike in the desert, and they needed to be able to bring more of those so that they could feed them over a, more spread out period of time than just maybe one in the morning or one at night. And we love to get that real feedback. It is now, we're putting it into practice with our products. So for anybody out there who's listening and you gave us feedback and said value proposition, said treats were too big, said more in a bag, we've done all of those. Thank you.
That is amazing. So I'm really digesting everything you said. So essentially you started off, you're looking for actual good critical feedback. And to begin, that's not just like, oh, here's a couple samples. It honestly sounded like your relationships, you were giving more and more options to maybe your bigger relationships to actually be able to collect that critical feedback. And so that was like the first thing I digested, like sometimes giving away a little bit more and like, hey, this or that, instead of just maybe a one sample of here or that, like they're actually able to compare and really give some good critical feedback of what works for them. And then diving into it more, you're actually taking that feedback that you've heard and now you have a whole new product. So that is super exciting. And then something we kind of missed on. So let's talk about, you have your brand new minis. And I know, and this is just a shameful plug, my dogs also love your treats. So I've got 2 dogs at home, and I'm so grateful to have a relationship with you because I know you've given us some treats and my dogs just ate them up. So let's talk more about your product line. Like, what is currently on your shelves that people can look for and see?
So we currently have 6 SKUs out there, 6 separate products. We have the large fish, which was our first product that we brought out. We have that in the 30s, a month. And then we have a 2-week at 14 and a 1-week at 7. We like to count those as you can take the 7, try it out. Very low initial investment, got an MSRP of $10 for that 7. And then try it out. If your dogs like it, great. If and if your dogs don't, okay, we'll try something else. Maybe they don't like it because it's too big. And if you've got an 8-pound, older dog, they might not like a treat that's 2¼ inches long. They might want a smaller treat. So you try it out, you find out whatever that feedback that your animals are giving you. And then you can expand if they like it. You can move to the minis because those are going to be much easier to use as trainings. They're much easier to pinch between your hand and let your dog, get a little lick every time, you're working through commands and stuff with it. Or if you have a smaller pet, very deliberately using the word pet and not dog here, because if you have a cat, you have a ferret, any other carnivore animal that likes salmon and is willing to eat freeze-dried salmon, you can give that to them. We actually went as far as putting cats onto the bags for the minis.
Oh,
because there are a lot of people out there that may not have access to the research or may not choose to allot their time into doing research to finding out if dog treats are okay for cats, and that's fine. That's their allotment of time, and that's awesome. They want to buy our treat, we're going to put a cat on the front of them and go, yes. Smaller animals, smaller dogs, you want to use it for large dogs as more treats per dollar because you want to space them out over time. That's awesome as well. We have a 30 treat bag and a 60 treat bag.
Oh, wow.
And the 60 treat bag, we're able to MSRP it at the same price as the 14 treat bag.
Wow.
And we thought we were going to get about a third there, but we ended up being able to get a quarter because the step that we're able to take out of manufacturing, it still accomplishes the same thing, but we're able to reduce the amount of time it takes to do that to almost 0. It sounds funny, but we're able to take it from to where it takes several minutes to a matter of seconds to do it. So now for us, that was able to get us to get a better value proposition for those minis. And then the third line of products is the Copper Topper, and it's its own separate SKU because we were looking to kind of hit that hiker market or hunter, the people on foot moving with it. We put a topographical map on it. Some of the feedback we got that we're looking at is that sometimes people didn't equate the topographical map with Aurora Borealis as our company. So we're looking at what to do with that possibly. But that Copper Topper is still out there. It comes in an 8-ounce shaker jar that one side you can shake out and the other side you can spoon out. And it comes 30 servings. Again, we wanted to allot it with that month if you wanted to put 1 level teaspoon per day for a month.
I love that. No, I love that. And I love that you guys are not just, I forget, you guys are not just catering to dogs. You guys are catering now to cats and other furry friends and smaller animals that people might have as pets. How has that been going from you transitioning for really dogs to now like, hey, this is open to a lot of different animals?
We released those Monday, so we haven't got a tremendous amount of feedback back yet. Off of a wider variety. Those, that small critical audience that we gave them to initially gave us great feedback, loved them, especially for the people who had smaller dogs, things like, French bulldogs, some of that size dogs, some of the very small Chihuahua breeds. And they loved it because they're able to just crunch it up. And we know a couple of people who did have some cats who've tried it. If anybody out there has any other small pet that is a carnivore, we would love to hear from you. We would love to send you some products, and we can get that feedback, and then hopefully we can continue, to expand what the manufacturing in Alaska can do.
That is amazing, and congrats with it just being released on Monday. How exciting. We'll have to have you on again, and then we'll hear all about how it's been going for you.
Yes.
We'll slide on to the next question. We got so much to dive in here on. So sustainability and responsible sourcing are key values for Alaska Mountain Dog. I know we talked about previously how, you guys really started with, you're utilizing waste and you're turning it into a real cool product for your furry friends. So could you share how you ensure your materials and your manufacturing processes align with these sustainable principles that you've set?
Good question. Thank you. The first thing that we started doing was using personal waste products from subsistence gathered salmon. And then when we needed to move into buying it through the commercial market, because you can't sell, sustainably caught or the stuff that you catch for your household, you can't sell that. Good. I like it. It helps to keep those markets separate. We had to go find somebody who held those values and had and we wanted to see certifications of that so that we knew we were getting a product that we could count on. Right now, we have a single source supplier for all of our salmon, our raw salmon ingredients. They are MSC certified. We have the letter from them, and that is one of the reasons why we don't go to anyone else. Completely not a shameless plug here. We love doing business with Copper River Seafoods, and they're very reactive. They're an Alaska company. They're very reactive to us. We can call them and go, hey, we got a thing, and we coordinate with them again. There's that term relationships comes up again. We're also always looking to be better for ourselves. An area we are moving into that we sadly have not been able to make work for us really well is we would like to have our bags be more recyclable than they currently are.
Okay.
I looked into that. We are currently in discussion with our current bag provider to see what they can do for us without impacting quality or shelf life as far as bags that are either completely or partially recyclable. We are also in talks to replace our plastic shaker bottles for the copper topper to something else that will be significantly more recyclable. We are hoping to get the ability to be over 98% by weight recyclable for that packaging. I don't know when that's going to happen or if it will happen anytime soon, but we are looking into that. We also ensure that when we buy stuff, whether it be capital equipment, we attempt to do that research to find out the best we can, whether it be, something that's UL rated, processes that are ISO certified to be made, those types of things.
Oh, absolutely. No, you unpacked a lot. And I think that is very pivotal. Like you said, you can't make all these changes overnight, but that sustainability is near and dear to your guys' hearts. That's kind of how you guys got started, was like, hey, how can we utilize this waste and turn it into something? And I'm happy that you have that relationship with Copper River, and shout out to them, congrats to them for being manufacturer of the year. So that's amazing that you guys are able to collaborate with them and now utilize them to make your treats, and that you're looking into your different packaging. I know a lot of people struggle with that, and that's totally okay, but it's the fact that you guys are aware and looking into just different ways that you guys can continue to bring sustainability into your business. So thank you.
Yeah. One more thing on that is we have one retailer that we supply to down in Seward, and they specifically said, no, we do not want individual customer ready packaging. What can you do to reduce our packaging? So, we had to, call our finance guy, Joe, and go, what does this look like? I gave him some numbers, as far as amounts and shipping and stuff. And he came back, and we were able to work through that to where they could have a bulk form of it that people could come in and serve themselves. Very similar to like what you would do at the grocery store. If you go to get, some of like the dry cereals and dried fruits and nuts on the shelf, you can open up by weight. She was able to do that for her customers and only use one packaging instead of multiple customer readies.
No, that's super cool. Yeah, no, that's a neat idea. I love that. Man, I love that you are continuing to look into those. And that is a really, really neat idea, because I know exactly what you're talking about. So how cool is that to then help reduce the waste and reduce the number of packages? So I love that. And kind of shifting gears a little bit, but I wanted to really dive into your business got started in the COVID era, and I know so many businesses, were affected by it. And that kind of went to ongoing challenges in the labor market. So, and that's kind of been affecting Alaska, but also globally. That's just an ongoing problem, unfortunately. So I wanted to really dive into how Mountain Dog adapted, and have you found new ways to bring workers in beyond using the usual hiring methods?
So the first person, initially, when I came on and before that, we were using a lot of, 1099 kind of independent contract type of labor. Things like, again, family friends, whether it be, the wife or husband who wasn't working outside the house at that time would come in and, put in a few hours, had some kids, which as soon as we incorporated, we had to be very careful with some of the labor laws in Alaska, because while most 15-year-olds in Alaska would be just fine operating around something like a grinder, you can't do that in an incorporated in a business, manufacturing sense. And I understand completely why that is. And we loved it and we supported it. So when it came time for us, we brought on one full-time person, shop boss, Maggie. Shout out to Maggie. I can leave this office for 2 days at a time. And I come back and I'm like, hey, Maggie, what do you need? And she's like, something from Blondie's. And I'm like, yes, ma'am, I'll go get you something. And exactly, supporting her. But what we've done in order to reinforce her from time to time when she needs more people on the stage is we've kind of gone out and found kind of non-standard methods of finding labor that we try to, again, make mutually beneficial to everyone. So things like we use some of the students from the Matsu Day School in their life skills program. I may not be saying that name exactly correct, but they come to us twice a week. And a lot of times those students it's looked at in a method of giving them something, but not really a training environment. One of the things that we feel and that I brought in from the Marine Corps is I am going to train you to do something. And if you can't do that because of whatever reason, that's fine. We'll find a different spot for you. So when, these students come to us and, they've got their teacher with them, And so far, nobody's failed us. These kids come in and Maggie's got it set up and, hey kids, we're counting this many. We're putting, these 3 pieces together to make it work. Maggie will start playing a little music back there and you walk back there and, heads are bouncing and, the kids are counting and putting it all together. And I'm like, how's it going, Maggie? You need anything? And she's like, nope, I'm good. And I'm like, okay. We are currently in talks. We haven't been able to put this into effect yet, but we're currently in talks with a couple of nonprofits that deal with homeless, at-risk, young adults in kind of that 18 to 24 time in their life where due to whatever earlier in their life, they're kind of trying to get themselves on their own footing. And if I can support that and at the same time have those young adults gain a relationship with us that they want to continue that relationship because they feel that we are truly helping them. And we know they're truly helping us because they're going to put good effort into it because we gave them a chance that maybe other people didn't always give them. And I'm really eager to see what comes with that. I think that's a very overlooked workforce.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the young adults and kids in that area, they don't really want a handout. They want a hand up. They want people to trust them and to give them a chance to show what they're capable of, because often in their life, they weren't given that chance to, go through that. I mean, if you look at us, and we will take care of our customers, right? If a customer calls us and says, hey, I got 7 in a bag of 14. I'm going to send you a bag of 30 and say, I hope this helps, thank you for the feedback, and take care of it, because that really, yes, the customer deserves what they get and we will make it right. But none of it was malicious. It was an honest human error. And we as a business will make it right. And then when we go talk to the kids, we're like, hey, who was counting these out? And they're like, I was. Like, hey, did you know that one got away from you? And the kid's like, and they're like, oh no. And we're like, hey, no problem. Here's what we did. How can we help you? How can we support you to do this better?
Right.
And they'll tell
absolutely.
us.
Mistakes are made. I mean, I love the way that you're approaching that. And I love the way that you guys are utilizing students. Can I ask how you guys, I guess, started that relationship or that collaboration? And is it the same students? Is it different? Is it evolving? So it's not really the same set of students each time, or how does that work?
Okay. So how we got there, again, looked at one of those things and go, well, we're a startup and we have, at some points in time, it was like, we have negative money for labor. What do we do? And then it grew and it's like, okay, how do we manage this correctly so that we're not putting out more than, going and hiring people that aren't going to perform to the level of pay they want. So we started looking through, we talked with 9-Star. We've talked with a couple of others, and Kevin actually fell into the Matsu Day School. He was one who initially made contact with them. And we had gone through several of them, even to the point where if, as we continue to grow and need more labor, there is a reintegration group that is actually willing to provide insurance for loss of product or damage. But that way it gives no possible financial burden on us for, for some of these men and women, that need reintegration. And we're open for that. That's another one that we're going to look into as soon as we get a chance, because let's face it, a lot of those people, again, made a simple mistake, especially when they were younger. They've done their share and now they need a chance to succeed. Can
Absolutely.
you 30? Cool. Rock on. We can use you. That's one that we've established that relationship. And as soon as we get a chance to use it, I'm eager to see how that works.
Well, I'm eager to see how it works too. So again, once you've had some time with your new product line, and then once you're able to integrate this, we'll have to have you back on, because I think that is definitely, as you said, an outlet that is really not being utilized. And that a lot of them, I mean, they are ready to work and they're ready, they want to work. And so a lot of people are complaining, they can't find workers, but there is a good market out there that is looking for jobs, and they're just can't get hired for whatever stipulations or rules might be in place. And so I think it is really, really great that you guys are looking into that, students and that. So that is amazing. Thank you for sharing. And hopefully other manufacturers or entrepreneurs could really look at that. And maybe that's something that they want to look on too, as everyone is really hurting for employees right now.
One of the things, a rising tide floats all ships, and there is enough of these people out here, especially with our growing manufacturing base here in Alaska. The more of these people we can get in, the more we're going to succeed. And you know what? You're going to run into some that this is not your boss, and you need to go find another one. There's no seat for you here. We can't help you. You're not doing what we need. And that's okay, because some people aren't going to want that. There are people that are going to want to do something different than, count freeze-dried salmon treats all day. And that's okay. That's good for them.
Right.
And we can get that knocked out quickly. And then all the other manufacturers who got different things they need done, whether it be more technical, less technical, more contact with customers or less, the people want jobs and they need them, because a lot of them, they want to get on their own. They want to help themselves and help us.
Absolutely. No, and there's really different avenues for all. So I'm glad that you're able to see that, and that you guys are able to look into that. So that's amazing. And I know we're a little over in time, so thank you everyone for staying with us. I just have one last question, because I've enjoyed talking to you so much, Mike, and getting caught up. And so there's one last question I like to ask all my interviewees. So for fellow manufacturers and entrepreneurs out there that are looking to grow and start their business in different niche markets, what has been your most effective strategy for standing out and building your customer base?
Dedication.
Ooh, I like it.
Never give up. People hear this in books, and now I am acting it out. I'm having to act it out right now. I can tell you, I've probably the last 3 emails I sent out to, try to team up with retailers and get our stuff on their shelves. They didn't even respond and tell me no, just nothing. But, one of those things, you'll put on your entrepreneur pants every day, put on a nice shirt, go to work, feel good about the product you have, because these products we see, like when we go to those mixers, and I see these products people are putting together, and they're amazing. And they are, a lot of them are niche markets. There are a lot of Alaska-based items, and don't give up. Keep calling people. Branch out your markets. If you have making salt from Prince William Sound, branch out to Southern California. I'm pretty sure there's a restaurant out there somewhere. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how to get it there. Not my realm. But there are people out there that want the products. Just continue the grind. Don't give up. Be deliberate and be dedicated. You've got to stick with it. You will succeed.
I love it. No, I feel like being in this position and meeting so many entrepreneurs, I mean, you really have to be adaptable. And like, entrepreneurs are fighters. Entrepreneurs wear 10,000 hats a day. But you're usually, these entrepreneurs, they found something that they are super passionate about, and that is why they're in the business. And so, yes, that is a key factor. It's like, it's hard. I don't feel like people that want to start a business or start manufacturing, they're not like, oh, this is going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard, but because you're passionate about it and because you have a fantastic product, don't give up. Like you said, that dedication. So I love that. Thank you for sharing that piece of advice.
Thank you for asking.
Well, Mike, this has been wonderful talking to you and getting to know more about your background as well as Mountain Dog Treats. And, for all, now we know, is there going to be a name change now that we know it's for all furry friends, or Mountain Dog might stay the same? No, that's a conversation for another time. But
you know what? The ability to branch off companies as you grow is something that the market will tell you when it is time to do it.
Yep. No, absolutely. Well, I know my dogs love your treats, so I'm excited. And actually, now that I know that your minis were just released, I have a sister-in-law that has cats, so I might have to give it a try and have her cats taste them. So, and I will let you know, of course.
Please do.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for joining us this Thursday. I want to let everyone know we do these every other Thursday. So please be sure to join us Thursdays at noon and have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you, everyone.